Hey guys, welcome back to the Bro and Pro podcast where we hope to help you reach your full potential, whether that be inside or outside the gym. I am your main host, Jeremy So, self-proclaimed Gym Bro, and I'm joined today with my co-host, Nicole Tan, IFBB Bikini Pro of the Pro League.
Really? Hi guys, happy December. It's December.
Yeah, oh gosh, what time has flown,
I
has it
can't
not?
believe it's December.
I seriously cannot believe it's December. You know, I feel like I started this podcast, I think only last year.
Yeah, I think it's been more than a year for sure.
Yeah, I think it's been like more than a year. So we do apologize. We've been going on a massive hiatus here and there, just getting busy with work.
Not as consistent as we'd like to be.
Yeah, I wish we could be more consistent. I mean, maybe we just got to make it happen. Like, you know, obviously like this 12-week challenge that we're running, maybe we just got to pull our finger out of our butt and just get it done.
Yeah, like maybe during the 12-week challenge, we can talk about topics of like what people have been struggling with, like from week to week and stuff like that. That will help us with topics. But
yeah, no, definitely we could consider something like that. I think at the end of the day, most things are pretty straightforward. Obviously, like our coaching approach is working individually with each client, helping them progress, whether they be beginners, intermediate, or advanced people. And I think that is the joy of what coaching is. I think it really, you know, is enjoyable to that extent because we get to work with so many different types of people. And like, it's like just letting them be better. Like, not taking a beginner straight to advanced. It's like there's levels to this. And I think as I dig deeper into it, I start to realize that there's so many ways of approaching, you know, obviously comp prep athletes to like lifestyle athletes to just everyday gym goers that just want to feel healthier, stronger. And it's like, how does this person improve week to week? That is not just here's a training program, here's a nutrition plan. All right, do it yourself, see you later. It's actually something that we work with each client, like, you know, through it. And I think, you know, we get them, yes, the aesthetic goals, but we also get them we also help them improve their mental and emotional state as well. Like, they learn the skills they need to really develop a healthy lifestyle.
yeah, and I think it's something that well, firstly, we're going to have a 12-week challenge.
Yeah.
Just
Gotta throw it in there. I
Yeah,
thought I
so-
was gonna try to sneak it in there, but you know,
So, like,
I mean, we could just say straight out that
big
this whole podcast
announcement.
is gonna be about a 12-week challenge.
Yeah,
then,
which we will be starting in January.
Yes, so January 5th is our intake. So we are currently, it's open for registration. So if you just head over to any, like myself
Any
and
of
Nicole,
our bios.
yeah, myself or Nicole's bios, it will be pretty much in the first link. Just click that
Yeah.
button, register. It doesn't cost anything to register, and then what will happen from there, your name's just put on a list, and then towards the end of the year to beginning of next year, we're going to be jumping on calls with everyone, talking through them what their goals are, helping them decide what your goals are as well. Because, you know, I've talked to people and I'm like, what's your goal? They're like, I don't know. Then I'm like, well, then why are we doing this challenge?
Use December to really think about your goals. Goals set for the next year so that when we do call you, you know exactly what you want to achieve, and we can definitely like structure a plan to see like how we can help you. It really absolutely costs nothing at all to actually join the challenge. What you're paying for is just the online coaching side of things. So there's no extra cost to this challenge. It's basically sign up for online coaching, any one of our packages, any one of our coaches, and you're basically in the running. If you're already a client, then it just doesn't cost you anything extra either. Just let us know.
Just let us know, and you get straight in. I found that, like, you know, challenges is good motivation, and like if timing is correct, I do apologize to my clients who are already on that cutting process and already ahead of schedule, and I know that they were like, shit, I wish I could have done the challenge, but obviously with timing wise, it's going to be harder because
I don't think everyone is going to be perfect over Christmas as well, so it's good.
Yeah, but
that,
we
like,
don't want them to get into bad habits. You know, we want them to be in control over Christmas and stuff. Obviously this challenge, just sign up to any of our coaches, and pretty much you're in the running for a $0 entry fee. Prizes are crazy good.
Crazy prizes.
$2,000 for first place.
Cash.
Well, not like
so we'll
bank
transfer it straight into your bank account.
Not cash.
Yeah.
If you want cash, we can make that happen.
It's not a credit or anything like that. It's literally money into your bank account.
Yeah, as a gift.
Yeah.
And then second place, 10 weeks of free online coaching. Third place, $500 worth of credit that can go to any online coaching service. So if you're already with a coach, with one of our coaches, you can just use that as credit into the coaching weekly, or potentially if you want to, like, hey, I want to actually do some PT sessions, use it for PT.
Yeah.
So like that can work as well. So honestly, it's pretty good challenge. So
It's pretty good. And I must say I have competed in a lot of competitions over the years and nobody has offered me
yeah.
$2,000 and not even when I won my
Well,
pro
I mean,
card.
you get the glory. The glory is totally different. So
Yeah. So
I'm
it
sure.
is like an amazing prize. And obviously, no matter what, your prize is already your body, the things you learn, and you get to walk around looking the way that you want to look, and you're able to like flaunt your success already, and the money is just some icing on the top.
Like if you're already thinking about doing online coaching, honestly, this is your time to start. Like, I mean, why not? If you're gonna pay for a coach, you pay for any of our coaching services, you pretty much go in the draw to win. And if you're
Yeah.
confident you can win, you can smash it out.
Yeah, fitness is an investment in yourself, and honestly, like the best investment you could ever make. Like the best amount of money you can ever spend is to do your body, your health, and your wellness good. So the fact that we get to also give back is something that's like really, really cool as well. Because otherwise, yeah.
Yeah. I think it's good to, you're going to get the results you want potentially or get close to it even. And to be fair, sometimes you're not going to get the results you want. Things may not always go as planned. But at the end of the day, you've just got to start.
Yeah.
The amount of times I've talked to people and they just like, how badly do you actually want this? Like, we already know how hard it is to, be conscious of the habits and behaviors they currently have to change. So your current lifestyle isn't getting you the results you want.
Yeah.
And
Everything you're currently doing, if you are not where you want to be, obviously everything you're doing is not working.
And the only way to counteract that is to be conscious of these changes. Whether that be prepping your meals, doing your own cooking, weighing your food out, tracking your weight. All of this will just help you get the results you want. And I think, at the end of the day, it's about how badly you want it and having that sense of urgency to be like, we've got to make these changes. Because if I don't make these changes, then I'm going to keep staying the same. And then you're going to look 1 year from now and be December 2025. And you're going to be like, what happened? I didn't get the results again. Freaking try. Like you are worth it. You should try.
And you just got to stay disciplined. Like I know a lot of times we talk a lot about flexibility, but that's also because a lot of our clients are long term, and also me and you have been doing this for years and years and years. And I think flexibility is something you need to earn. In order for you to be able to be flexible and like enjoy that, you need to have a moment of discipline. You need to first put in the hard work for like a couple of months to be able to first get somewhere and achieve something. And then after that, being able to maintain that or go further from there, then you can enjoy a little bit of flexibility and stuff like that. So again, that's why we have the 12-week challenge. So we put you under like a time crunch and you have 12 weeks where you're like, okay, look, I know I've been like kind of trying to do things right. Like I kind of go to the gym, I like kind of count my macros, but you haven't actually done like, a month, 2 months, or even 3 months of actually sticking to something, being disciplined, and like tracking your different metrics, like tracking your training, counting your macros every single day for 12 weeks. I promise you, if you actually commit to something like that, you will actually see some change. And a lot of the reasons why people always like do the right thing but don't get to where they want to be is because they don't stick to something for long enough. And that is something that you need to go through before being able to actually enjoy the flexibility that a lot of us talk about and preach, after you've actually spent time being disciplined.
I think that is 100% correct. I think you have to stick to it, but you've got to look at this challenge as a Kickstarter. It's okay. Yes, the idea is your current lifestyle isn't getting you the results you want. Doing this new lifestyle requires different things, and it requires different habits and behaviors. And I think, if you go 3 months in, like, you've got to see it as something you're going to do for the rest of your life. You got to accept that this is something you're going to have to do for the rest of your life. But, if you do it at 80% compliancy, 80% as good as what we want, obviously if we pictured the textbook perfect client, it will be 100%, right?
Yeah.
So obviously if you're like 80%, if you listen to us 80% of the time and you keep doing that for a whole year, your results are going to be freaking good. And you just keep doing that every single year and you're going to live a freaking good life. You're going to be happy. You're going to be confident. You're going to be able to take your shirt off at the beach. I know it's a thing, taking your shirt off with confidence. You know what? It's so weird because I used to be overweight. Like, and to an extent, I used to train heaps, but I used to have a belly. I didn't have abs, right? And
Dad
like
bod.
I had I had dad bod when I was younger. I still don't have kids, but the idea is that even I feel uncomfortable taking my shirt off. Like even now, it's still ingrained in me. As much as weird as it sounds, because I guess when I look a certain way, my expectations I've got to look that way. But
Hmm.
I still feel uncomfortable doing it. So like, it's gonna happen to all of us. But like when you work on yourself and you are able to take your shirt off and feel confident, like for the ladies wearing bikini at the beach and feel confident and just feel empowered, like you just feel like so good. And I think like that's a great way to look at it. But obviously the aesthetic goals are what most people aim for, and it's very superficial because
Mm.
aesthetic goals is just a byproduct of the habits and behaviors you create in this lifestyle. The key thing is that you've got to make sure that you develop. Hell yeah, I don't know where I'm going with this. I kind of just blanked out for a second. I apologize there.
Well, you were talking about like the aesthetics. So what
Yeah.
what else do you gain aside from like the aesthetics?
Oh yeah, the health conditions. Sorry, totally like just had a mind blank there. Apologies. It's been a long day.
Well, we can go into
But the
one
the
of.
health conditions. So obviously, like whether you have like we're not doctors.
Mm.
We're not we don't have a PhD, so that you don't have to listen to us. And then say,
But you should.
yeah, you've gotta understand that the aesthetic goal of achieving a goal is very superficial. Like you've got to see it more in sort of the this is gonna help. Like for a lot of my parents that I work with, it's for your kids. You want to live a longer life. Simple. This is gonna help you live a longer life. Like can't guarantee that, but we know that you are at less risk of getting any medical conditions in
Yeah.
the future.
Not just a longer life, but like a higher quality of life. Like how
Yes.
many older people do we see that they don't they're like living, but they're not like living because like they're unhealthy, they don't have muscle, they've lost mobility or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Starting this now and just being like healthier for your kids, even as like an older parent, is going to do so much. I know like definitely when I become a parent, like I want to be like keeping up with them, like being able to run around,
100%.
like I want to be
I
able to
am
like
not
pick
getting
them
dad
up
bod.
and things like that. So those are the things that obviously like you gain from like investing in your fitness now. Like apart from like it'll be good to look great, but
Mm.
to be able to be at your 100% health will help you do so many other things in life like so much better. And you should start now. Like don't wait till it's too late, definitely.
Yeah. So like if you look at it in that way, you've got a long life to live.
Mm.
You know, we're only asking for 3 months to kickstart your goals. And then you've
That's
got to do
all.
this for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
My oldest client being 60, 64 now, 64 years old, and he's still weight training to compete in bodybuilding shows as well. So, this is just a sign to tell you that like you should start now. Like,
Yeah.
don't wait till any longer. Like, and even if it's not perfect, you still got like, most of the people we work with might be in their 30s. So you honestly still got like a good 70, 50, 60, 70 years
Yeah.
that
And
you
you
have
want
to
to
go
be
through.
healthy and active during those years. Trust me. You
Exactly.
don't
I'm
want
sure you want to be traveling the world, being
Yeah.
able to keep up, walk, everywhere, and I think that's an important part of it, besides the aesthetic goal of being able to take your shirt off. That's
I mean,
great
that's
and
cool
all.
too.
That's great and all, and it'll give you confidence. But at the end of the day, like if you look at it and more the health aspect of it, like what weight training does for people, I think, the benefits are like, there's many results out there to say that, there's so many benefits to it,
Yeah.
whether that be mentally, physically, emotionally, at the end of the day, it could just be therapy for you.
It's actually shown to be really good for your brain as well. I
Yeah.
recently read something from Huberman.
So either way, this stuff is good stuff. So I think like
Yeah.
doing anything just to get started is the important part.
And the thing is, what will happen if you don't start? So a lot of, especially females, as you get older and older, if you don't weight train at all, you actually start losing muscle, and your bone density also decreases. So there's not only a cost to like, obviously, not look good or whatever it may be. It's going to cost you if you don't start and you don't reverse it. Even if you don't get better, you need to start to make sure things don't get worse. That's like a really important thing. And that's a lot of reasons why, like, so I also have an older client in her 50s that train. She's not looking to, get a six pack or anything like that, but she doesn't want to get older and start losing muscle, losing bone density, losing mobility and things like that. She wants to like still look good for someone in her 50s, and she like loves going to the gym. Like she absolutely loves it. I need to tell her to slow down a little bit because sometimes she's in the gym for longer than
too
I
much
am.
of something is bad.
I'm like, sometimes you need to rest, but she just loves it so much. It's so good for her mental health, and she just like, she's so happy every time she leaves the gym. So that
Which I did scans. I'm not exactly sure which study it was, but I know they scanned the brain of someone who does train, who someone doesn't, and activity levels in someone who does train at their older age is like going to be like, it's way more like, it was just way more like there was more activity happening.
Yeah.
And so, when you think of this about this sort of things, like there's so much benefits to it that it's crazy that people don't.
You
and
need to weight
too
train,
caught up,
guys.
oh,
You
why
need
is
to
this
weight
person
train.
results better than my results? And I'm like, everyone has their own journey. Don't get caught up in this, the comparison journey. Obviously, like, comparing yourself to other people and almost making yourself like hold yourself back, because at the end of the day, like if you don't start, you're never going to get there anyways, and then when you quit, and we've seen it, like we see people smash 12 weeks and then they just go back and be like, they have something that happens and it can't be perfect. And all of a sudden they've gone back 180 and gone back the other way and go back to the old eating habits and doing all of that. And I'm just like, well, they've gained all that weight back. Like, and you feel even worse about that.
Yeah.
And so we tell people like, think about this as a Kickstarter to your journey, but you've got to still see it fundamentally as something you're going to do for the rest of your life. And that's something I filter all my clients with. Like the first thing I ask them, like, do you actually see yourself doing this?
Yeah, this has to be a lifestyle change. Like you have to be like, look, I'm going to, once I pick up the weight for the first time, I'm never going to stop picking up weights for the rest of my life. It doesn't have to be every day. It doesn't have to be super long, but it just has to be like, I will always make the effort to go into the gym no matter what, no matter when. I will continue to do it till forever. And I think I definitely will want to continue to do it till forever.
I can almost promise you, if you don't weight train now, you're going to get injuries or niggles or like, a sore back, lower back or knee pain or shoulder
bone
pain.
Density. Your bone density is going to
obviously
decrease.
Your muscles are going to atrophy as you get older. We all know that.
Yeah.
But, when you look at it like that, you're going to have to then go see a physio.
Yeah.
And then the physio is going to be like, you're going to need to train.
Yeah.
So either way, you're going to either do it now and do preventative stuff.
Yeah.
Or you're going to start beforehand and just be like, oh, I'm already weight training. I'm just going to now add in some exercise that I'm recommended to do. And to be fair, there is obviously too much as well. Obviously, at the level that we train at, there is too much training.
It's very rare that people do too much. I mean, obviously, like in our world, like yes, but
80%
like
of the time, people do not do enough.
Yes.
So
in general,
either way,
most people need to do a little bit more.
Yeah.
I actually saw a really good quote the other day, and it's just like, if you're worried about what it costs now to like eat healthy and train, it's going to cost you so much more in medical bills when you are older. So it's definitely is not comparable. Like,
so that brings me to that question: is the cost of eating healthy and doing this lifestyle going to cost more than what they do normally? So like, let's say, I ask this question a lot to a lot of people. I'm like, so do you like Uber Eats and stuff? They're like, oh yeah, maybe like 2 or 3 times. And I'm like,
that's crazy expensive.
2 or 3 times heaps.
Yeah.
But then I'm asking like, what else do you eat? Well, I just eat like, takeaway and like stuff. And, maybe they don't even cook their own meals. It's like almost like they don't want to admit that they eat out more than they should. Like, to be fair, I'm like, if you're not prepping your meals, then like you must be eating out every day.
Yeah.
Like there's no excuse for that. And I'm sorry, if you're eating out and the amount Uber Eats costs nowadays, crazy high. Like they have an actual charge. So whatever the food costs, they already have the restaurant charges a bit more. Then you have to pay then Uber prices, obviously, like, to get the Uber and stuff. So it costs even like a $10, $20 more per meal that you're eating. So like nowadays it's super expensive. Like it's like going to cost you for 2 people like $70, $80 at least just to get a meal.
Yeah, so getting on a meal plan is going to help save you a lot of money, and you get to pre-plan stuff as well. When you're on like a set meal plan, or like if you eat the same foods, then you can also buy bulk, and that saves a lot of money.
How much would it be for one person to go to let's say Woolies to do a shop for themselves for the week?
I think like anywhere between $50 to $70 a week is
Oh yeah,
like,
I forget you do work with females, so obviously with my guys, like double the weight, a bit
uh,
heavier.
yeah,
Yeah, I would say it's around that 100, 150 mark. I would say
Mm.
max, like 150 max.
Yeah,
If
that's if
you're
they have
like,
to eat a lot of
yeah,
calories,
yeah, that's
depending
if
on
you're a
how
lot
low
of
or
calories.
high
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
calories
yeah.
are.
So I
Yeah.
would say like, let's say 50 to 150.
Mm.
That's like 2 Uber Eats meals. 2 meals. Okay, maybe if you're ordering for one person. Okay, let's be fair. We'll consider that we're ordering for one person.
Mm.
Um, one person might spend, maybe like $50 just to get an Uber Eats meal. So realistically, if you eat that 3 times a week, you could have grocery shopped your entire meal list for the entire week for $150.
Mm.
Your entire week. So I'm talking breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and maybe some snacks in between as well.
And
Like
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 wastage is a
healthy
big thing
snacks,
as well.
huh?
So like people who are not on like counting macros or eating like similar foods, like even though when we count macros, we eat similar things. So we actually never waste anything. Do you actually realize that we never throw food
That's
away?
true, yeah.
Because, whereas there's a lot of people, it's very common in like families and stuff, like who don't actually go through this lifestyle. They just go to the grocery store and they buy a bunch of stuff, but they're not really sure what they're going to make. And then sometimes like it just goes bad because they don't actually like pre-plan what they're going to be eating and stuff like that. So you end up actually having to like throw away a lot of foods, or like if you maybe cook meals at home, but then you've been eating out a lot, and then like, the meals that are like in the fridge like
I
just
see
go to
it.
waste.
So and then
People have to throw it
they
out.
order too much a takeaway, or they go to a
Yeah,
restaurant and
and
they
then
take away home, and their fridge just piles
it's
up.
just packed
It's
with
just packed
stuff.
with takeaway food and just
Yeah.
food that's just wasting. I'm just like,
You're wasting a lot.
like, you guys are
Yeah.
wasting a lot of
Yeah.
food.
We never throw food away. Like everything
Yeah.
we cook, we eat like everything.
Yeah, unless
So-
we forget about it, but like
Unless we forget to
generally,
cook
there's
it.
very rare wastage, and that's a big thing as well.
Yeah,
We're
so you
wasting
save a
less
lot of
food.
money by not
We're
wasting.
saving the
Yeah.
environment, pretty much. Yeah, we're
I mean, I don't know about
environmentalists
that,
now.
but,
But yeah, it's one of those things that I think people just need to, just get started.
yeah,
It's
get
going to cost you
started.
less. Yes, coaching might cost a little bit. Maybe getting gym membership that you're probably already paying for, to be fair. A lot of people have gym memberships that literally do not go.
Good, yeah.
So therefore, you're already wasting money as is. So on top
Yeah.
of Uber Eats, going out to eat, maybe going out drinking on the weekend.
Oh, that's
you
gonna
know,
cost so much money if you drink on the weekend.
Yeah, it's like I'm asking you to like spend that, redirect some of that money and cash flow
Into
into
yourself.
into yourself. Get a whole week's worth of food from breakfast, lunch, and dinner and snacks with $150,
Mm.
pretty much. And yes, coaching might cost a little bit on top, but we're teaching you the skills. And I can almost promise you everyone can afford it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a choice. If you had to learn how to drive a car, what do? You go hire an instructor. Or unless your parent going to teach you. But most times or not, you're going to hire an instructor.
A better kind of analogy would be like, you could bake your own bread, but you'd rather just go to like a bakery or like buy, bread that's already baked, because it's just like, it's a lot of effort to bake your own bread.
I think the analogy I was trying to go with was more so the teaching them the skills.
Yeah. Oh, but you go to a
The skill
professional.
set.
That's what I'm saying. You go to a professional who is good at baking bread. Like our job is good at like helping people transform their physiques. You pay for someone who that is their job, rather than you just try to do everything yourself, because you can't do
Yeah,
everything.
I guess that can work.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mind was going more so like, with any skill you want to develop, whether that learn how to play the piano, learn how to play the guitar, learn how to dance. What do? You go to an instructor.
Yeah, and not try to teach yourself, because some people try to teach
I mean,
themselves.
you can teach yourself if
but-
you're gifted.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah.
You can
But
definitely
it's
do
always
that.
better to get someone else to teach you. You save so much time, because
You're saving time.
Yes.
Exactly. Because time is valuable. And I'm sure that you're working a 40-hour job that, per week. And on the weekend, you just want to chill. And you want to, like, if you're going to do something, you want to probably do it right. And that's what we're here to do. So as long as you're ready to learn and, change yourself, I think it can definitely work. So, like, just think about it as an investment, and then it's an investment. And if you win, you get some money back. So it's pretty a double whammy.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. So should we get through some questions?
Yeah, we have some questions regarding the challenge.
So I've fallen off track with my fitness during the holidays. Is it too late for me to start fresh with this challenge in January?
It's never, ever, ever too late. Especially if, when you say fallen off track, I assume that you also mean that you were on track prior. And muscle memory is an amazing thing. So if you were once the physique that you like to be, it's very, very much easier to get back to where you once were than to build something absolutely from scratch. So you're never ever starting from scratch. You're starting from experience. You're learning from experience, and then just like re-kicking that goal, like, back on track. You're
Restarted.
getting back on track. You're basically
Restarted, yeah.
you're getting back on track. You're not just, building, all the way back up from the beginning. It's going to be much easier, and you will have much more knowledge as well to be able to go through with everything.
This is something I say to a lot of my clients. You've got to go. And so you've got to think about, why did you even start weight training in the first place? Why did you even start health and fitness in the first place? Why? Whether that be, obviously, as we mentioned before, from like looking good, feeling more confident, doing it for my kids, fit into clothes better, whatever it may be, or health reasons. That is the end goal. Whether you fall off track now, you've got to see it more as a detour. I like to call them detours and hurdles. So this is all you're doing when you fall off track, is that you take a slight detour, but you've got to get back on track straight away. That's the key thing. If people can focus on doing that, then they start to think about it differently. That makes more sense. Don't be like, oh, I've fallen off track, and let this negative self-talk come in. It's like,
Start spiraling.
Obviously, my toothbrush analogy, toothpaste, brushing your teeth every morning.
I hate it.
And let's say, for example, you didn't brush your teeth tomorrow morning. Feels weird as shit. That's how you want your health and fitness to be. It has to become a habit and behavior that it feels weird not to do it. And so if you miss brushing your teeth tomorrow, do you think the next day you're going to be like, I'm not going to brush my teeth tomorrow because I already missed yesterday, so I'm going to miss today as well? Like, you're not.
Yeah.
Like, most times or not, you're going to be like, oh shit, I forgot to brush my teeth, or didn't have time. The next day, you're going to brush it. You don't think anything else beyond that. And I hope that obviously most people agree with me on this, because like, if you don't, then I'm like, you need to be brushing your teeth. Or you need some mints,
I don't think it works the same way.
Yeah, it doesn't. They need some Listerine, but either way, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think like you don't think twice about that, because it's already a habit and behavior. And so when you've fallen off track, remember your goal. This is just a detour. When you fall sick, that's just a hurdle. When you go on holiday, another detour. If you frame it like that, then you're never going to fall off track, because it's just detours.
I think me and you have had so many detours this year, but we're still doing the same thing.
Destination.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like, driving to this podcast area where it's Blake's place, we actually took the wrong turn.
Yeah, Jeremy made the wrong turn.
I made the wrong turn here.
Twice.
Was daydreaming, took the wrong turn. But I still got here. Like, should I have, just because I took a detour and I missed my turn, I should just go home?
Just go home.
I'm done. I quit. Unless it really pisses you off, then yeah, maybe. But most times or not, your goal is to get to the destination. When you start to look at it that way, it's going to be easy. Like, health and fitness is easy. Like, because then no matter what happens, no matter how much weight you gain back, how much you've fallen off track, you're going to get back on track. Yeah, it's kind of sucks that it happened. You're going to have the self-doubt, the negativity that's going to hold you back. But it happens, and that's something you just have to manage. And that's what I personally do for my clients. Like, one-on-one, I'm like, look at it like this. And they're like, that makes a lot of sense. Just see it as detours and hurdles. And I guarantee that as long as you get back on track, the results will just come back straight away.
My favorite analogy about that is that someone said, like, so if you say you pulled out your $5 note and then like the wind came and blew it away, do you then just throw your whole wallet away? Of course not. It sounds crazy. So why do people do that so much in other areas of their life? Like, just because you lost to $5, like, what are you going to do? Like, you just got to keep going. Doesn't mean you don't throw away the rest of your wallet. Yeah. Definitely not. So.
Great. So we'll go on to the next question?
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. I've tried fitness challenges before and always lose motivation. Halfway through, I read that wrong. I've tried fitness challenges before and always lose motivation halfway through. How is this one different?
Motivation's really up to you, isn't it?
That is true.
It's a hard one. Like, I don't really
the best way to answer this is, honestly, if you lose it halfway, it wasn't meant for you.
But also, you don't need to
Simple.
rely on motivation. That's why we have the toothbrush analogy. We're not motivated to brush our teeth.
So
We just freaking do it.
we just do it because it's weird if we don't.
Yes.
But you got to develop that. Exactly. The
Yeah.
toothbrush analogy strikes again, and it works so well with everyone because everyone should be brushing their teeth every morning. All right. I should just become a dentist now.
You probably should.
But the idea is that, yes, same thing. Like going back to the toothbrush analogy, you just get it done. It's habits and behaviors. At the beginning, it's gonna be hard. And going back to the toothbrush analogy, back when you were younger, your parents made you brush it. I don't know if you were like me. I just didn't want to do it. I was just like lazy, tired, just wanted to skip it. But then eventually, at some point, my mom isn't gonna call me up, and be like, "Hey, Jeremy, you brushed your teeth this morning?" So like, it's not gonna be like that. Like exactly, you've got to take accountability for it. Understand motivation is going to be short-lived. You're going to lose that. You're going to lose it straight away. When it gets hard, your brain's going to want to turn off. It's going to be like, I don't feel comfortable. Let's go back to what we were doing before. And honestly, it happens. And that's going to determine whether or not you're going to ever succeed in this or not.
Just gotta push yourself to do hard things. Just when it gets hard, realize that it is hard. And that's why not everyone walks around with a six-pack, because it's freaking hard.
Exactly.
So like, do you want to be different or do you want to be the same? Like, you just gotta get up and ask yourself that question literally every single day.
You got to get outside your comfort zone. Like this is going to really take you outside your comfort zone to an extent. We're going to try to make it as manageable, and we're going to explain things. We're going to teach you, okay, yeah, you're going to feel hungry during this time. You will feel flatter. You're going to feel lower energy. Your recovery get worse. All that stuff. We're going to tell you these things. But the ones that succeed are the ones that push through.
Yeah.
The ones who give up and be like, oh, like, and we see it many times in the past. We've worked with a lot of people that it has happened, and we're like, unless timing is wrong, like if something happened in your family, work related, like you're losing your job or you're doing some other ventures that you want to focus on, totally understandable.
That's just a detour.
That's a detour.
It's just a detour.
Exactly.
So once you come back and,
Exactly. And most
get
of those
back into
people
it.
come back after. They're like, I just need to take a break, pause. Time-wise, perfect. But they never said they're going to quit. If you're going to lose motivation, ask yourself this. Do you want to quit? Yes or no? You can just stop this all now. Like in that 6-week mark where you're like, I'm losing motivation. You got two choices. Stop or keep going. Simple.
And like when it comes to nutrition, like the motivation thing is just kind of like, okay, you're not motivated to stick to your nutrition. Well, are you super, super motivated to eat junk food all the time? You don't have that feeling. There's no feeling of like, I'm really motivated to eat bad today. You just want to. So the motivation is like not important, right? When it comes to that, because it's like when you do the things, like for example, if you lay on the couch, are you super motivated to lay on the couch? You're not.
Are you super motivated not to go to the gym? I mean, like you could be, and most times we're not motivated to go to the gym. 80% of the time, we're like, can't do this, or we're stressing ourselves out over it. And it's probably less than that. But like for the majority, it could be harder for them to get to gym, like gym anxiety, all of that. So we understand. But at the end of the day, like, I think how you do this is how you're going to do most things in your life.
Yeah.
As harsh as it
when it gets
sounds,
hard.
when it gets hard in anything, if you want to succeed in anything, you got to do the shit that people don't see.
Yeah.
Like to achieve the physique that we achieve, people don't see what we do.
Yeah.
People don't see how well we eat or like what we stay consistent in or what we try to stay on top of, the training, the injuries, the sleep quality, the sleep management, the stress levels, we have to deal with so much to achieve this.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, it sounds all good. Just like, hey, follow this meal plan, follow this training program. You're going to get these results. No, it's a personal growth, like sort of like process.
Yeah.
Like it's all coming down to how much grit you have and how much you can deal with the uncomfortable. Because it's like the people who want to get lean, the person who can deal with the hunger the best is going to get the results they want. Simple. There's no two ways about it. The person that can deal with it the best, as well as say no when the temptation is there, is going to do the best. Simple. Hands down, straight down. That's it. And if you are determined to win this challenge, you got to deal with the hunger the best. Like as much as we try to keep it, we're not going to crash diet you. That's not our approach.
No.
We're going to keep it reasonable. We always try to feed our clients more, and then we do a slow approach. But then when it starts to get hungry, that's where it really tests people. And I can start to see it in people, whether or not they have the capabilities of doing it or not.
But sometimes it's not even like hunger. They just just like I just didn't want to stick to it today, or like whatever it may be. So
if so,
just
to be
don't
fair,
rely on motivation. Like
and
that's all I can
if you
say.
can't eat the
Just
same
discipline
thing and
yourself.
stay consistent eating the
Stay
same thing,
consistent.
and you want to change it every 2 weeks or 2 weeks into a plan, I'm gonna tell you now, most likely not, this isn't for you.
And then most things in life
Your
won't be
goals are
for
not
you
that
either.
important. Like your goal to achieve the physique that you want or lose the weight that you want is not that important to you, because someone that needs to lose that weight will make it happen no matter what. There's no like excuses. There's nothing. It's just I'm gonna make this shit happen. And those are the people that are gonna succeed in anything you want, because it's a need.
Yeah.
I want to lose this 10 kilos. Not really that urgent. Like I want to lose it, but I don't lose it now. I'll try again in the future. It's like almost accepting that they've already failed. So the people that need to lose it, and it's just a simple change of word. I need to lose this weight. I need to lose this body fat. I need to get into health and fitness. I want to get into health and fitness. If I said that to you, who sounds more serious?
I mean, depends on the tone.
No, wants and needs are completely different though.
Yeah. I
So
get
a
what you
need
mean.
is like water.
Yes.
You know, wants are just things that are accessory things.
Yeah.
So you only kind of want it. And, at the end of the day, these are the people that are going to succeed. And I always ask my clients, is it a need or a want? If it's a want, I'm like, we can try, but I know they're probably not going to stay around for very long. And you don't want to be that person. All right, next question. I tend to overindulge during the holiday season, and I'm worried I won't be able to get back into a routine after. What should I do?
Join the challenge.
Simple. And that's a simple answer. So yes, join the challenge. Okay, number 4. I've seen people win fitness challenges with amazing transformations. I don't think I can achieve a great transformation.
Oh, is that the question?
That is the question.
You will definitely achieve a transformation of yourself, and that should be worth so much to you, and that should be the main motivation for joining this challenge. Obviously, like, you want to win, you want the money, but at the end of the day, like I said, you get to walk away with a new, improved version of yourself. And shouldn't that be enough motivation already? Sometimes, well, just competing. Different in your case, because obviously we're gunning for you to win the competition.
What competition?
Your bodybuilding competition.
Oh, I'm doing a comp? I thought I was just doing it for life.
Okay, well, you're entering competition. Get it into your head because it's happening in
Well, I
like
don't want to pay for it. It's too
16 weeks
expensive.
or something like that. But yeah, so in my case, me competing as a professional and like going into, say, the Pittsburgh Pro, I knew I wasn't going to win. Obviously, I wasn't going to win, but would I have not joined? Like, it's, you know what I mean? So you can't only do things if you know for certain you're going to win. You don't know, but sometimes people who go into it, they're not sure whether they're going to win, but they're going to try their best anyways. Sometimes those are the people that like end up winning. A lot of the times the people who actually win the challenge, they're not like, oh yeah, I'm definitely going to win this. You know what I mean? Like, they don't like look at someone else's like transformation and they're like, oh yeah, that could definitely be me. They're just doing what you ask them to do, ticking the boxes every single week. And then they just transform week after week, and they just are the ones that like end up just blowing us away with their transformation.
You don't know if it's not even going to be you or not.
Yeah.
But do you still buy lotto? Let's
Do
be
you
real.
buy the lotto?
Come on, let's be real. Like, you are probably not going to win the lotto. And
Yeah.
anyone listening to this probably has not won the lotto. So like, to be fair, if you have not won the lotto, but do you still buy it?
Yeah, exactly.
Why?
Exactly.
Because you in hopes that you're going to win it.
Yeah.
Same thing kind of apply. It's probably not the exact same thing, but because this one requires a lot of effort.
Yes.
It comes down to you as an individual. And I'll be honest, even when you put all that effort in, it still might not work out. You know, you might put in all the effort and follow everything perfectly. There are so many variables that we cannot predict as coaches. You know, and hey, yes, we are here emotionally. We're going to give them the support, the coaching, give them the plan, give them the method, the methodologies, the processes, the expectations of what we want. But at the end of the day, it comes down to the individual's effort level. It comes down to you.
And I think also, even if you don't exactly get the physical results that you want, you actually don't lose anything by eating well, by, fueling yourself with like enough protein, by doing cardio, by going to the gym. You're like, oh, all my efforts were like wasted. But
Hmm.
like, it's not really wasted. Why is it a waste that you're, being healthy, eating healthy, fueling your body well, moving your body and like getting stronger in the gym?
Hmm.
Like, even if it doesn't exactly translate to the best transformation in the world, because sometimes that does happen, like it doesn't always translate physically, it's definitely not going to be a waste of time or effort, because at the end of the day, you're still doing something good for your body.
And if you don't get it now, if you develop the lifestyle that we give you, that you develop for yourself, you're eventually going to get the results.
Yeah.
Results are a byproduct of your lifestyle.
Or just not going backwards, because
Like,
sometimes if they keep doing what they're doing and they don't try this, even if this helps them sort of just like maintain, it's better than like continuing to regress, continuing to put on more body fat, continuing to lose more muscle, continuing to lose bone density, and just like continuing on that path, as
mm,
opposed to like, oh, like I'm not exactly where I want to be, but like I'm kind of healthy now, is still sort of like in a better direction than what you would have been had you not started your health and fitness journey.
when I think about it, driving a car. When you learn how to drive a car, your instructor, you could probably do like, I don't know how many lessons we need to do I can't remember, like 20 lessons, let's say. You do 30 lessons before you do your driving test. You do a driving test, you pass, right? But you only really learn how to drive the car when you've been driving on the road yourself. And this is something that if you look at this journey working with a coach, that's pretty much what we do. We kind of teach you what you need to know to do for yourself, right? And the challenge is like the test. It's like okay, in this time, we have to pass the test. The goal is to win. But not everyone wins. At the end of it, obviously, we get you the results, or you get the results eventually. It might take more than 12 weeks. It might take 20 weeks. It might take 24 weeks. It might take 30 weeks. But if you keep living the lifestyle, I promise you that you're going to have this inbuilt in you for the rest of your life. And, and that's the key thing that, people develop over time. Like, how important is this goal to you? All right, perfect. Hey, number 5. I've had a lot of ups and downs with my fitness goals. 1 month I'm on fire, the next I'm completely off.
You answer
How
this
can I
one.
stay
Oh,
consistent?
you answer this one.
Um, this is what I call people who
Yo.
not yo-yo. I think they're all or nothing individuals. So if they're gonna do something, I'm gonna do all right, and I'm probably gonna say this, and people are gonna be like, "Shit, that's me." And most times or not, it's a double-edged sword, because you're never gonna balance your lifestyle. You're always gonna be on. You're always gonna be off. It just only means that the goal you've set for yourself, you have no destination. You kind of want to get there, but you don't really want to. It's not that serious. It's a want.
Mm.
And I think because your goal isn't there, like now that I have a competition that I'm going to do, it has to be good. Training, everything is like, I'm just like really zoning in. Like I slowly zoned in, and now I'm like, I'm in. Like I'm going to eat my meals no matter fucking what. I'm not going to deviate. I am just literally going to just do what I need to do to get there. And so after this, I'll go back to my 80-20. Yeah, I'll be relaxed. I'll go out to eat, maybe, drink once a month, or, go out with the mates, like just chill out, and still train though, because I enjoy training.
Yeah.
I feel weird not to train. So these people need to develop the 100% or 0% people need to develop a middle ground.
Yeah.
What is balance for you? What is the bare minimum? Instead of training 7 days straight, why don't you just train 3 and just stick to that? Do that for 1 or 2 weeks. And if you really want to, increase it to 4. 2 weeks later, increase it to 5. 2 weeks later, increase it to 6. But you have to manage it, because I can promise you, you're going to fall sick. You might get injured. You might have a holiday plan. Something might happen in the family that you're like, oh my God, like I can't train. And it's going to freaking happen. Like people think that they're gonna be perfect all this time and like live a like I'm great. If you are injury free and you stay perfect, I'm super happy for you. But just understand that that's not always gonna be the case. And the people who can jump back on track straight after they've fallen off track, are the people that are gonna succeed. The people who take those detours, overcome the hurdles, because their destination, their goal is this is who I want to be. This is who I want to identify as. I want to be someone that is fit and healthy and trains often and committed to my goals. Then it's going to be like no problems. But the people who fall off and are 50-50, like, 100% 1 month and then 0% the next month, they just haven't set clear enough goals.
Yeah, it just means you just don't want it like bad enough.
They don't have the identity they want to live. They want to be someone who kind of trains. Maybe your identity is that person who does 1 month of training and then falls off for 1 month and then jumps back on again.
They just like overly rely on motivation.
Maybe that's your identity. Yeah. You've now put yourself as, oh, I can't seem to get my health fitness goal. And they'll tell me like, oh, I can't seem to get it. Like, I always fall off and then I start again, fall off and start again. I'm like, why did you stop?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't make sense. Like, yes, you had a week of being sick. Get back on track the next week. What's the big deal?
Instead of falling off, you should just turn it back to like, I can't be 100%, but I can be 80. Give what you can. It's better than like 100 for a week straight and then 0 for 3 weeks, and then 100 for a week straight and then 0 for 3 weeks. Why not just be like, 80% every single day?
Control your controllables.
Yeah, that's what they need to do.
If you're sick,
don't throw everything out the window. Same thing. Don't be throwing your whole wallet away. Like it's just not worth it.
If you're sick, control your eating to an extent. If eat what you can. Maybe do a bit of steps. If you go on holiday, keep activity levels high, eat enough protein. Don't worry about it. Get back on track when you come back. You get an injury, manage your injury. Change your training program. Change things around so you can do what you can. Shoulder injury, do your legs more. Train abs. There's so many things you can do, but people just don't want to see it that way. They just be like, oh, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right.
Yeah.
And those people, it's a double-edged sword. Those people are going to size themselves and their results.
Do what you can.
Do what you can. All right, after Christmas, I'm usually in a food coma for weeks. I love the idea of getting back into shape, but I'm so used to just eating whatever I want. What do I do?
You just have to start establishing a new lifestyle and a new habit, because eventually when you do this long enough, I promise you, after eating yourself into a food coma, you want nothing more than to get back onto your own regular foods. A lot of us who have done this a long time, we all can attest to this. We cannot eat junk forever. We're going to start feeling like shit. We're just gonna not really perform well mentally in other areas of our life. We become really sluggish, like we become more prone to sickness, yada yada. There's just so many things. But once you get started on this new lifestyle, it's going to be like, it doesn't mean that you're not going to have those days where you overeat or overindulge. It just means that like the new you would be so excited to jump back on track, to get back into the gym, to get back into your fitness after you've allowed yourself to enjoy those indulgences.
I think like when I read the questions, but I'm so used to just eating whatever I want. I'm like, to be fair, to look the way we do, we eat a certain way.
Yeah.
You've got to change the way you eat.
Yeah. So change
as much habits, as whatever you want, those people are never going to really get the results they want. Simple. Like if you enjoy eating whatever you want, keep eating whatever you want. We're fine with that. I'm not going to judge anyone for that. If someone loves eating cake every day, I'll be happy for them. Not going to bother me. But if they ask me, Jeremy, I'm eating cake every day, but I can't seem to lose weight.
But I don't want to stop eating the cake.
But you stop eating the cake. Sorry, man. Not going to be able to help you. And that's where people fall out. I'm like, you got to accept, if you want to enjoy food and you keep food tasty and you can't eat chicken the same, like 2 days in a row, this isn't your lifestyle. So honestly, if you can't eat chicken for like 3 weeks,
unless you're vegan or vegetarian,
hey, that's fair. That's fair. We do it with vegan clients.
Yes.
But like, let's say, I'm just saying, obviously, like to you who are eating, like if you can't eat the same thing, generally most times this isn't going to be the lifestyle for you. If you're like, I'm sick of chicken, unless you're a chef, and you can cook the meals tasty. But the problem with being able to cook fancier foods and tastier foods is that it requires time.
Yeah, and then
And
those
people
people,
don't
those
have
same
time.
people who always want to eat new stuff,
Don't
never
have
have
time.
time. They're like, I'm so busy. Oh, but I want this like elaborate recipe
Yeah,
of
I saw
stuff.
this recipe like KFC fried chicken healthy ways, and I'm like, are you gonna make that every day? Like, this ain't for you. Like, it's just not for you. And we're gonna tell you now, if you are someone that agrees to what we just said, most likely, please don't join the challenge. And I'm not gonna lie to you, you're not gonna. This isn't the lifestyle for you. You're like, unless you come to us and you enjoy eating what you want, but you know that there's a problem, and you need to accept the fact that the way you look right now is because you're eating whatever you want. And if you can't accept that, do not come to us.
But also just understand a lot of the people like us and people in our lifestyle, it doesn't mean we don't want to eat those things. It's just that we know that like, oh, if I eat that, I'm gonna be bloated, I'm gonna feel like shit, I'm gonna like weigh more tomorrow. Like you just weigh up the pros and cons. And as much as like, you know, like I really love instant noodles. So I'm like, oh, as much as I really want a bowl of like shin ramyun, I'm like, oh, it's just not gonna make me feel very good. It's gonna bust my macros over, all that kind of stuff. And then even though I have it sitting there in my pantry ready for me to eat at any time I want, because I'm also in my off season, you just start to consciously make the decision that like, oh, but I don't really want to eat that today. Maybe a different day. And that's the difference between like someone who, you know, achieve their goals and things like that. It doesn't mean we're not human and we don't have those wants. And it doesn't mean that sometimes we don't break and give into those wants, but it's more so what you do more of the time as compared to what you want to do every single day.
Yeah, that's definitely 100% correct. I think whatever you do, whatever you want to eat, it's up to you. Like, we're only here to get people results.
Yeah.
You know, we're gonna do our best to help you get results. But if you expect, you know, to change up your meals every 2 days or 3 days and like give me a million meal plans, and I'm like, unless you actually have the time to cook this all, honestly, this ain't sustainable at all. Like, you're not gonna last in this lifestyle. Like, I'm sure that when we have kids, it's gonna be the same thing. We're gonna be eating relatively good, like the same as what we're eating now. Maybe a bit more different sort of foods, but it's gonna be very similar.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna cook our meals, we're gonna prep our meals, get our protein in, get our carbs in, get our fats in, the simple stuff. You know, none of this like, you know, we do have a database of recipes, so we can make it enjoyable to an extent. But when the expectation is to change it every single week, as much as we want to change it, it's hard to tell someone, look, you're not going to get the results and you're going to fall off, like 100%. Like, I have not met anyone that has changed the meal plan every single week that doesn't fall off. Like, have you worked with anyone in the past that, let's say, they want to change it every single week and you do it for them, they fall off after like 3 or 4 weeks?
Look, I try my best, but at the end of the day, you run out of ideas. There's only so many things that
Exactly.
there's only so many ways we can like cook chicken. And if you're bored of chicken,
Like,
you're bored of
what?
fish, you're bored of beef, I'm
and then
sorry.
what's even worse, your
There's-
calories are already low.
that you have low
so it's
calories.
like, what options do we
You want to
actually
eat
have?
pasta, but then like if you eat pasta, you're not eating carbs for the rest of the day because we don't have enough carbs. Like you're just making your life
Yeah.
really, really difficult. So it's not that we don't want to. It's like
You just don't have enough calories.
We will try our best to, but like there's only so much we can do. There's only so many things we
Yeah.
can eat, and that's why towards the end of prep, like you find that we just eat like the most basic minimal stuff because it's just there is no room to be able to like do such elaborate things, especially sometimes like a lot of like the more delicious stuff requires a lot more fats, maybe like a lot more oils and things
Yeah.
like that. And some people just don't have the calorie
Your calories are gonna
allocation
be
to
too low.
do that. Yeah.
And that's the hardest thing. They want this flexibility of, I want to try this like Mexican style bowl, Mexican pita, or like, you know, some noodle dish, or like, and I'm just like, you don't have the calories for it.
Yeah.
Like, so we need to eat the basic stuff. So that's why I'm going back to what I'm saying, that there has been no one I worked with who requires a weekly change in their plan, get the results they want. And honestly, you can try to prove me wrong, but it's virtually impossible. Like, with the amount of meals out there, it requires so much prep time and all this stuff. And I'm like, it's almost impossible. Your calories are too low. If you're like, you know, some females can get as low as 1,200 calories a day, which is not a lot of food. You add a pasta dish, that's like 600 calories. That's half
You're
your day's
eating
intake
nothing
in
for
one
the
meal.
rest of the day.
And that's not a lot of
Yeah.
pasta as well. It's probably like 100 grams
It's
of
just
cook.
the smallest
Yeah,
bit.
it's a small amount.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, you want to just eat that? I'm like, okay, then you just have to drink water for the rest of the day, you know? And so
And
you're
like we have to
unrealistic.
understand that like protein is the main, like most important
Learn to
thing.
cook protein many ways, and then you will be like, you
and if
just
you're
eat
sick
it.
of it, then like too bad, because there's very minimal lean
Oh,
protein
that's-
options.
Yeah, it's
Like-
just- if you get sick of chicken, Heart Smart beef mince, turkey mince,
Barramundi.
barramundi, tuna cans maybe if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Honestly, there's not a lot of
Yeah.
options. Salmon, but even salmon has high fats.
Yeah, so,
So,
we
you
have to
know,
like play around with it.
yeah.
If salmon, maybe you can't have eggs. If you have eggs, you can't have salmon. If you want like a really fatty Scotch fillet steak, then we can't have the like
But at the end of it,
it's-
you're literally just eating meat and some veggies.
yes, yeah.
As much as you want to make it, I'm like, I don't know how else I can make
What kind of a
salad,
combo can we
a
do?
salad and chicken taste good. I could name it something fancy and maybe call it like a Caesar salad without any mayonnaise and all the good stuff.
Yeah, because you can't have sauces and stuff either, because a lot of sauces are like really, really high in calories as well. So it's not that we don't want to make it fun. We're going to always try and like cater to what you want as best we can. But just remember that there's only so many sources of lean proteins. There's only so many sources of like just even like, sweet potato and rice,
Yeah,
like in terms
yeah.
of carbs and stuff. Like we don't know how else to like put it together to make it like,
Yeah, when your calories are low, it's hard to make anything.
Yeah.
So like you've just got to accept that you're just gonna have to eat the same things, and that's when it's the bridge of like that's where you're at the crossroads. Do I quit now, or do I be like, no, screw it, I'm just gonna keep eating this. I don't care if it tastes. If I can't down it, I'll just eat it slower. I'll just eat it no matter what.
Spices and seasonings. That's the most important thing you need in your
don't
life.
be spooked. That's
just,
one thing.
Just use
Like,
the spices and seasonings to change things.
if
up,
you are
that's all.
living in a world where you didn't have access to a fridge or a shopping center where you could just go buy nice groceries and stuff and all this good food and Uber Eats, you wouldn't be asking for it. You just get what you get and just eat it and you enjoy it. You do what you can. And I think, when I look at it like that, I'm like, it's just a determining factor. When you get to that crossroads, it's like, am I going to do it or not? And that's when you got to ask yourself again, am I going to quit? This isn't for me. Or I'm going to, because like I can promise you that if you are someone that needs those changes so often, then like you're not, any challenge you do, and every time you do it, you're never going to finish it. Because like, it's just not a lifestyle. Unless you become really good at cooking. And you actually learn the recipes and be active and proactive and spending time and searching up, oh, I can make this and I'll fit this to macros. Learn about macros, learn about calories, learn how to like calculate it all.
You can
and it's
definitely
like
do that.
100%. But it
Yeah.
requires so much time that people don't have.
Yeah.
And they don't want to do it.
Yeah.
So then I'm just like, well, then what do you want to
And
do?
usually when people are bored, it's not that because they want to cook something themselves. They're bored and they want to order Uber Eats. They want to go out to eat. They want the easy way out.
Because they're
of,
motivated
like,
to eat out.
They're motivated
and
to
then they'll feel bad the next
McDonald's.
day, like, oh my God, I should have not eaten that. I feel terrible. And then they start spiraling. End of the world. So like, you're motivated to eat bad, but you're not like, you rely on motivation to get you started, which is the truth of it, but you gotta rely on discipline. The more times you put yourself in front of that food, the more times you say no, the more times you make that better decision, you're just gonna develop better discipline for yourself. The amount of times we go to the gym and we don't want to do it, but we do it, that's discipline. Doing the shit you don't want to do many, many, many times over and over and over again. I don't want to eat this meal.
Success in anything in life.
Anything in life. I don't want to eat that meal, but I'm gonna eat it. It's not going to kill me if I eat it. Oh, I might get a bit, it's going to make me yak. Learn how to cook. Make it taste better.
Yeah.
Do something. Try to figure out a way to make it happen. Not complain about it and just do nothing about it. But like, this isn't working for me. Actually figure it out. And that's going to determine whether you succeed in anything you do or not. We don't just sit there and complain about it. If something goes wrong, we don't sit there and complain. We figure out a solution to the problem. How can I do this better? Chicken can be air fried, oven, sous vide, pan fried. What else is there?
I just love how you're like talking about all these ways around chicken because I cook the chicken. But like I love that you know all the methods.
I know all the methods. I do. But like you see, chicken to me tastes like chicken now. So no matter how you cook it or season
No
it,
matter
to me it's
how
just
I
chicken.
try to make it easier for him, it's just like I'm just eating chicken anyway.
It does. It just tastes like chicken.
I can't make it fun for
But
him
I
anymore.
just
After
eat
10
it.
years of cooking chicken breasts.
Yeah, see, exactly. After you do this for 10 years, then you figure out that actually, wait a second, there is a
He doesn't
limit.
care anymore. At one
But
point,
I just eat it because I have to. It's not a choice. I don't wake up every morning and decide what brand of toothpaste I'm using. I just brush my teeth.
sometimes recently I've actually like eating my chicken breast just plain with salt and pepper.
That sounds pretty good sometimes, you know?
So I
Just have it simple.
just after so
Simple.
long of different seasonings and stuff,
Keep
I'm
it
like,
simple.
maybe I just want to have it with salt and pepper.
Just eat it because you have to. If you didn't, if that was the only meal you're going to get for the day, just eat it.
When you're truly hungry, you won't be worrying about how the food tastes. You're just gonna eat it. Because
Exactly.
I've been there, so
So
it actually
therefore,
really doesn't
it's
matter.
only just a craving.
Yeah,
This is
it's
craving.
just a want. You're not even motivated to eat out. It's just you just want to.
And if that's the lifestyle you want to live, that's your choice.
Yeah.
So I think we should wrap up the 12-week challenge. Do you have any last notes for the listeners?
No, just get started, and you want to get started to a good 20. I was gonna say like get a good like 2025 going, but I don't know how to put that into words. A good start to your
start.
2025.
Make it a shit start to 2025 and diet yourself and feel
Diet.
like death.
Diet yourself.
Yeah, that sounds like fun. I mean, like I'm
Well,
pretty much.
Jeremy will be dieting,
I'll
so
be in prep, so honestly, like I don't know why everyone's
he'll be
complaining
pretty
about.
deep into prep by January.
They're gonna be like, oh
so-
no, but he's on prep, so he's expected to do that. And I'm like, do you know how hard it is? Like we have like family coming over in like 2 weeks almost,
He's having massive
and it's gonna be like
FOMO.
2 to 3 weeks of like eating out every day, most likely.
No, I'm not gonna join them every day to eat out. I won't.
Oh, okay, but they'll Uber Eats or something. But either way, it's gonna be a lot of events and stuff that I'm gonna have to go to and just bring my freaking own food. So like this is something I haven't thought about actually. So maybe we can talk about this in the next podcast. But
I've
like
done it for
ideally,
years, so-
I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
It's gonna
We'll see
push
how
me.
you go, and you can update everyone.
I will tell you how I go. I might have one day maybe during Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, just have those 2 days off because that's why I started a bit earlier. But I might just push through as well because I think I'm not gonna be ready in time if I don't. And so yeah, I'm just gonna probably push through, which is fine. Like I've already accepted. I'm using my own anger to be like, nah, I'm gonna stick this out. Like it does, like how I do in my training, I call myself a little bitch in my brain when I'm like doing a set and I'm gonna fucking lift this no matter what. I literally tell myself that all the time, and I'm gonna do the same with the food. Like I'm gonna look at it and be like, I'm just gonna eat this meal. Like I'm not gonna die. I don't need to eat this meal. I'm here for the company. I'm here to be with people, and I can still be in a good mood because of that. Just because I'm not eating the tasty ass burgers and like the steaks and all that good stuff, I'm still gonna enjoy my meal and still be there with good company. And I think to me that's more important. Like this time around, I'm gonna be in a better like headspace, especially with my prep compared to like other preps where I literally close off from the world and just say no to everything. I definitely feel like this one I'm going to be way more in a better headspace because I'm like, yeah, just do it. I just do what I need to. It's my job.
Well, let's see. I'm excited to see that.
All right, sweet guys. If you enjoyed this podcast, make sure to share it with your friends and family, and make sure to register for our 12-week challenge. Once again, it's no extra cost to start. Just register your name, and then we're gonna jump on a call first. We're gonna see with the right fit for you first. Obviously, if you want your meal plan changed every 1 week, we're not going to probably work together. If you at least give us 2 to 3 weeks, we're fine with that. We'll do our best to make it as palatable as we can. Once again, guys, if you enjoyed it, share it with your friends and family. Make sure to tag us. If you have any questions for us individually, make sure to message us through our pages. And then we'll probably talk about my prep next podcast. So we'll see you guys in the next podcast.
Bye.
How long was that?